Meet 10 HP no cannon, my no cannon locked 10 HP Ironman. After Jax recently decided to ruin free-to-play Ironman, I decided to up the ante and forge my own account from scratch. No trading, no cannon, but this time I'm only now allowed to buy runes and ores. All leading up to one of RuneScape's biggest challenges, not getting your account devalued. So some of you may remember the 10 HP no shop account that I made a while back, and I basically gave up on that account because it sounded like a good idea at first, but I encountered a lot of little problems along the way with like just little tools and items that I just thought I would be able to pick up off the ground somewhere, but it turns out that the only way to get them is just by buying from a shop. So like I wasn't able to get like a seed dibber or like a saw, I think, for construction, and like that wasn't really the purpose of the challenge of the account that I set out on, you know. I really just wanted to have an Ironman where I would have to like skill for everything, because like, you know, in normal Ironman mode nowadays you just pretty much kill something to get every single resource that you need, and yeah, you have to skill to do the diaries and stuff, but other than that, you don't really, you know, you just do the fastest method to level up the skill. You don't like actually do it to collect resources usually, you know. And I didn't like that aspect of it, so I wanted to create an account where I would just like skill for everything. And 10 HP accounts are fun, but typically on a regular 10 HP Ironman you just cannon everything, and I thought that's kind of stupid as well. So I thought, oh, I'll do 10 HP no shop, because then it kind of takes out two birds with one stone, because, you know, the only way to get a cannon is from a shop. And also, I didn't like the fact that you could buy runes from rune stores, because that kind of makes runecrafting a dead skill. And, you know, if the purpose of the account is just to skill, then I don't really want to have any dead skills, since I already can't do combat, you know. And same thing with the blast furnace shop for buying ores. It just makes, I've always thought that was so stupid, like that Ironman have access to that, because it just makes mining a dead skill, you know. So that was the idea behind the 10 HP no shop account. But like I said, it just ran into lots of other little problems along the way. So I just kind of gave up on it, because I didn't want to make a bunch of exceptions all the time. But what I've basically now decided to do is to just change the rules so that now I'm allowed to buy everything except for a cannon, runes, and ores from stores, because those are the main things that really mattered. Like that was the whole point behind this account in the first place. So I've continued playing on the same account, just under a new name, since it's strictly, you know, less limited than the previous account was. And a lot of these clips are very old, so I apologize if they're kind of out of order and they skip around a bit, because I'm kind of just trying to bring you guys up to speed with where the account is right now. But the most difficult thing about this account really was just getting it like off the ground to begin with, because it was so tedious just getting around the game to begin with, since I had no teleports really, since I couldn't get law runes, and I couldn't really train my magic level very well. So it was just very, very slow at the start, and I was pretty much just walking everywhere. I was doing farming runs, but, you know, they just took forever because I had to walk everywhere. And training magic also proved to be incredibly difficult, because not only I had to mine lots of essence and make all the runes myself, but I was splashing with everything, so I was only getting a fraction of the XP that you would normally get for those runes. And early on, I wasn't using any staff, because any of the elemental staffs will give you too high of magic bonus to be able to splash, since I can't get vambraces. But so I was manually casting at first, but then later on I found out there's the Cursed Goblin staff, which doesn't give you any bonuses. It also doesn't give you any runes, but, you know, at least then you can just auto cast, so that made my life a lot easier. But eventually I was able to get the level for blast spells, and then I just basically raised cats to turn them in for death runes, so I could just passively get death runes that way, and then I eventually splashed with those to level up my magic, and that's how I was able to do it basically. I think that's by far the best way. I also did the easy arty diary early on, because it's one of the few diaries I was able to do, and it actually gives you 200 death runes instead of 100 for every cat that you turn in, so it's quite useful for me. Also, I wanted to level up my hunter to 80 and unlock Fossil Island, because then I was thinking that I could do herbivore to 99 hunter and get lots of herbs that way. And I figured that would be very good because, you know, the only way I can get herbs otherwise is just growing them, which obviously takes forever to train herblore that way. So I figured it would be a good idea, and also to get my hunter up for implings. There's tons of things that I can get from implings, which are also very useful, so I figured that would be a good idea to get out of the way. So I went ahead and got 80 hunter, and then went to Fossil Island and started doing herbivore, and I did quite a bit of herbivore. But ultimately, I basically realized that the herbs that you get is based on your herblore level, I guess. And my herblore level, of course, was very low because it's so slow to train on this type of an account. So I was getting garbage herbs, basically. So I figured it's probably not that good of a use of my time, although the XP is quite good. But I figure it's probably better to just wait until I have a higher herblore level to do that. The other thing I wanted to do early on was Wintertodt, because I figured Wintertodt would be very good for me, and it's something that I could do efficiently, like right away. And Wintertodt was kind of good because I got money, which was very difficult for me to get early on, and also some essence, which, like I said, I need to mine tons of essence on this account. But really, you don't get that much, and you really don't get that much of anything from them. And initially I thought it was just because my stats were really low, because apparently the rewards that you get do scale based on your stats. But I looked into it, and apparently you really don't get that much better stuff even with max stats. So I probably won't be doing a whole lot of Wintertodt in the future anyways. But early on it was pretty good for me to do, just to get some basic resources that I needed, some seeds and money and gems and stuff like that. Anyway, from there I basically just had to mine a fuck ton of essence, and I made it all into fire runes, since that's the best runecrafting XP thing for me to do, of course. And I wanted to get the runecrafting level for nature runes, and so eventually I was able to do that. And I was also able to get a nature tiara from a magpie impling, and from there I was able to finally begin making nature runes. And the way that I did that was I basically just walked back and forth on Karumja between the nature altar and the general store. There's a guy there that will unnote things for you, so you can just unnote your essence there and just walk back and forth. I didn't want to go through the abyss yet because I would basically just get destroyed without protection prayers or defense or armor or anything like that. But in the future, with, you know, either protection prayers or just enough defense bonus, I should be able to actually go through the abyss, which would be a lot faster. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that, because that will make my life a lot easier. But from there, now that I had nature runes, I was able to superheat things, and then of course I was able to get 55 magic, and from there I was able to just alch things and easily train magic efficiently and get as much money as I pretty much could ever use. And at this point, my next challenge is basically doing the troll romance quest, because I need to do that in order to make law runes, like I said, and it's an incredibly difficult quest. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but hopefully you guys stick around for the next video to see that. And other than that, I will thank you guys for watching, and see you all in the next one.